Two men, two cheap cameras, a couple of computers, Apex. At first, no one cared. But one by one, the people came to their show. It transformed them. Apex transformed them. They all became as one, celebrating Apex. Except for Anton's mom, who missed almost every episode. And now, live from the 100th episode, please welcome Anton Nielsen and Hayden Hudson.
I was not prepared for that.
Nor was I. And my mom does not attend these shows, but I'm going to call her out now. That's very funny. Oh, I'm supposed to say hello and welcome to Apex Instant Tips episode 100. I'm Anton, and we have with us today a very special guest, Hayden. Hi, Hayden.
Wouldn't miss it for the world. And I think we have a tip today worthy of episode 100.
Yes, I do as well. We've introduced it as being a bit of a sketchy tip. In fact, I think it might be wise that people watch it.
Yes, because between this episode and episode 101, we may get a cease and desist.
Right.
So it's
right. So if you're on live, it's probably good. Yeah. So Hayden, I forgot to mention 12:05, all that stuff, but it's only 5-minute tip. But I have a wisdom of the week. And I have a rerun of my favorite off-topic tip, because really it's the off-topic tips that are probably better than the actual tips. But I have a favorite.
It's my favorite as well.
Oh, excellent. I have a favorite tip over the last 100. Do you?
I do. Should we share it now? Yeah. I was actually going to say it's an old one. It's a simple one, but it really did change how I code. It's Apex string.split. I have never looked back since since covering that as a tip, and I must use Apex string.split like once a month.
I'm gonna share, and I hate to do this. I hate it a little bit. I fixed a bug.
Oh, that was episode 7, by the way.
I fixed a bug in none other than Stephen Feuerstein's code today using Apex string.split.
Oh, nice.
So that's high praise for Apex string.split.
Yeah. So watch episode 7 if you haven't seen it. That is my favorite tip. Yeah. How about yours? What is yours?
Oh, we have to go way back for mine too. Mine is episode 12 about remote debugging, turning on debugging for somebody else's session. Turning on debugging in general is a huge tip, but I really like that one. It so happens it's with our friend Joel Coleman. But the tip is what it was a great episode all around, and I definitely appreciate that.
Of course. And actually, to highlight that, I think there's a case to be made that probably at least 10% of our tips are implicitly that tip, because it's all about tracing your Apex session to look at the underlying code.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think lots of great tips in there by other people. Well, that one I think may have been yours. Anyway, we're already wasting people's time. We're only supposed to spend 5 minutes, so let's get on to our sketchy tip. And before I share my screen, I'm going to say the thing that I like most about Apex. Well, two things, but is that it's metadata driven, but that it's built with itself. Apex is an Apex application.
It's Apex all the way down.
All the way down, right? So I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to kick off the timer. I'm going to show you a feature of Apex that I think is interesting, and I know Apex better than any other Apex application, and I run into this all the time where I see features in Apex that I think are interesting. So let me show you this one. Kicked off my timer. And so right here, if I hover over team development in this workspace, you can see it goes to application 4600, page 1. If I click on it, in fact, it goes to application 4600, page 1. But in this other workspace, if I go there, it still says 4601. But when I click on it, it actually goes to 4610. And if I try to go to page 1, if I try to change that page 1, I still get page 10. So the question would be, well, if Apex can do it, can I?
100%.
All right.
And what's the next question?
So the next question is, how do I do it? How did they do it? How did Apex do this?
Exactly. Right. So if we were rewinding to episode 93, where we also preached taking design inspiration from the Apex workspace, we would limit ourselves to just speculating about how this works, and we could propose different solutions to achieve this. Today, we're going to propose something. We're going to pull back the curtain and share that you don't have to speculate, you can actually find out. So if we could share my screen, and actually, I'll start my timer, but our timers are now off. So at what time are we, Anton? So
we're at 3.5 minutes right now to go. We have 3.5 minutes to go.
Yes.
So, all right.
Great. So before I take this further, Anton, I'm sharing my screen. What do you see?
Oh, I see some crazy stuff in your workspace. This is your workspace. And I see application.
This is my workspace.
Yeah. I see application 66905, for example, but it's called Oracle Apex SQL Workshop App 4500, right? And I see the second app in your workspace is Oracle Apex App Builder 4000. What's going on here?
Right. So the simple trick is as simple as it gets. You merely download the Apex executables. I've done so earlier. You unzip it, and then you go to the builder folder, and then here you have all of the applications. So wherever you are in the application, in the workspace, you can see the application number that corresponds and the page number. And so you can import these applications into your workspace, and you can inspect them. So you obviously can't run them, but if the question is how does what is the logic on application 4600 on page 1, how does that redirect to page 10? As simple as importing the application. I recommend keeping the reference to 4600 in the name, because obviously you can't keep you can't actually have app ID 4600. And then you could go to page 1. And then here, clear as day, no need to speculate about how they do it, because it's right here. So in the page rendering of page 1, there's something called redirects to welcome page, which redirects to page 10 under certain conditions that we could explore. And then on page 10,
all right,
there is an equal and opposite one that does the same thing.
All right. So with a minute left to go, are there cases that you do this? Is this something that you often do?
Yes, I do it all the time for even something even less advisable, which is the workspace is filled with views that do not have one-to-one correspondence to the views that they actually make available to you. So in this, so we're talking about team development. Let's talk Apex_issues. That is a view that you're supposed to use. However, if you wanted to, say, create an API on Apex issues, you can't do that. What you can do, however, is visit page 1, go to open issues, and answer for yourself, what is the underlying table that I would have to get access to if I did want to create my own API against Apex issues. And then I go ask my DBA, can I have read-write privileges on this table?
Well, we have got 10 seconds left in this. I think that this is a brilliant tip. We'll see if we get any pushback on it at all, and we'll kind of keep it on as our secret tip. Don't go sharing this with anyone.
Yeah.
This is just between you and me, Hayden. And
That's right. Yeah. So we debated for some time as to whether or not we would even have this tip, but we thought for episode 100, we're going to, we might as well pull the trigger, because tips don't get better than this.
Right. And I have to say, it is one of these things that it feels like a little bit of a secret. And, it's the kind of secret you don't share for a couple of reasons. One is maybe you're really not supposed to do this. I don't know. But the other is it's my secret, right? and I do this and yeah. But now it's not our little secret anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do this all the time for a variety of purposes. We've covered the gist of it. So do with this what you will.
Yeah, I noticed that those imports in your workspace were like, some of them were a year old. So yeah, you didn't do this just for this tip.
Right. No.
All right.
This is coming.
Yeah. So we're gonna do all the things you're supposed to do, splat and send letters to your friends, all that kind of thing. Yeah, but I have a wisdom of the week and a rerun of my favorite personal off-topic tip. So my wisdom of the week is a little bit preachy, but every day as my kids would head off to school, every morning I would say the same thing to them. I would say to them, have a grand and glorious day, a day that bestows honor upon yourself, your family, and your community. And I broke this down for them in that the first half of that, have a grand and glorious day, was my wish for them, that their day would be spectacular and enchanted. But the second half, a day that bestows honor upon yourself, your family, and your community, was my instruction to them. And mind you, I didn't say to have a day that bestows glory. Seeking out glory is not something that I really think people should be going after. Glory is something that happens to you because the circumstances are right, and you do something spectacular. I don't think you should be going after that. But honor is something that we can do, that we can at least strive for every day. And honor is something that doesn't necessarily isn't evident, right? You can, for example, simply forgive someone for doing something that's honorable, right? And nobody needs to know about it. It's something that happens internally, but it's something that we can do every day. I thought about giving a wisdom of the week that was a little bit snarky today, and I realized that's counter to this wisdom of the week. So that's my wisdom of the week, and there you go. Have a grand and glorious day.
I love
that.
Yeah.
Honor upon yourself, your family, and your community.
I will remember those words. No doubt we would all benefit by repeating those to ourselves.
Yeah, and I certainly don't accomplish it every day, but it's something worthy of at least considering. Thanks, Michelle. So this week's rerun of an off-topic tip. Hayden, do you have a favorite off-topic tip?
Well, it's the one that I know you're about to present because I have partaken of this myself. It's the using the chocolate bar as a straw for milk.
That's exactly right. I prefer it with a chocolate-covered graham cracker. Right. This is my straw of choice. I go with a little dark chocolate. What you do here is you take the tiniest little nibble from diagonal corners. I'll do that now. And it's so small,
it's
you
not
almost
just
can't
any
see it.
Device that will serve this purpose.
Mm-hmm. There are chocolate-covered Nutter Butters. They work pretty well as well.
Yeah.
So you've got your straw, and now you can actually drink milk through that straw. There it is. And then
Yeah.
you eat that chocolate covered graham cracker. It is the best thing. Oh, so good. So good. So you've probably, if you've seen every episode, you've already seen that. But I think for the 100th episode,
I mean, that one bears repeating.
yeah. That's all I have. Do you have anything else, Hayden?
No, thanks for tuning in. And if all goes well, we'll be back for episode 101.
Well, I'm going to leave it with this. Until next week, have a grand and glorious week, a week that bestows honor upon yourself, your family, and your community. Bye-bye.
Wonderful. Take care.
There's no use in looking back. Gotta laugh or gotta live. 'Cause I'm so over the past, and I'm living it fast. Underneath the strobe lights, ready for a crazy night. I can hear your heartbeat banging loud like a drum. Let me be your only one. Do you feel what I feel? I'm addicted to the sound. Turn it loud, just make it play. When the love is all around, dream away with the music. Flying higher than the stars, we'll be dancing till the dawn. The night is young, so are we. So close your eyes and